It began as a revolution, one that promised freedom from banks, governments, and control. A digital rebellion built on code, not bullets. Bitcoin was supposed to give power back to the people. Ethereum was supposed to make finance fair, and blockchain was supposed to make corruption impossible. But in 2027, that dream is dying. Across the world, governments are uniting for a single goal: to end decentralization once and for all. This is the story of the crypto war of 2027. Before we dive in, tell me, where are you watching this video from? Because what's coming next might directly affect your wallet, your job, and your freedom. So, comment your country below. Let's see how far this message travels before they try to silence it. It didn't start overnight. The first signs appeared years earlier, in 2022, when global regulators began quietly tightening control. China banned all crypto transactions, calling it a threat to financial stability. India proposed a 75% tax on crypto gains. The European Union introduced the MiCA regulation, forcing full identity verification for every crypto user. At the time, most people ignored it. They said, Bitcoin is unstoppable. But governments weren't trying to stop Bitcoin overnight. They were preparing for a slow siege. By 2025, the US, China, and the EU had all launched their own central bank digital currencies, CBDCs. Each one promised faster payments and secure transactions. But hidden in the fine print was something new: programmability. Every CBDC could be tracked, limited, or even expired. Governments could decide where you spend money, when, and on what. And here's the catch. Once those systems were in place, they didn't need to ban Bitcoin. They just had to make it irrelevant. To understand this war, you have to understand the weapon that started it: data. In 2024, the Financial Stability Board, FSB, released a report warning that decentralized finance, or DeFi, was a systemic risk to global stability. It claimed that billions of dollars were moving beyond government oversight. Within months, the IMF, World Bank, and G20 nations began drafting a global framework for crypto compliance. Behind closed doors, it was called Project Leviathan, a coordinated digital strategy to bring all cryptocurrencies under one legal structure. Publicly, it was branded as consumer protection. Privately, it was about control. And while this was happening, blockchain analytics companies like Chainalysis, Elliptic, and TRM Labs grew exponentially, tracking every Bitcoin transaction, every DeFi wallet, every NFT flip. By 2026, privacy coins like Monero and Zcash were delisted from nearly all major exchanges, and new laws forced all crypto platforms to collect biometric data from their users. The internet, once a place of anonymity, was now becoming a financial surveillance grid. Here's the part few people realize. The war on decentralization didn't begin with banks. It began with AI. In 2025, major AI systems began linking blockchain addresses with real-world identities using facial recognition, online purchases, and even social media posts. This gave intelligence agencies something they never had before: a complete map of the crypto world. A leaked report from Europol in 2026 revealed that over 90% of Bitcoin addresses had been forensically associated with identifiable individuals. In other words, the age of anonymous crypto was over. That same year, the U.S. Department of the Treasury launched the Digital Asset Security Bureau, DASB. Its mission: to monitor, restrict, and secure all blockchain activity that threatens financial sovereignty. By 2027, crypto exchanges worldwide had to comply with a new regulation called Know Every Transaction, KET, a step beyond traditional KYC. It didn't just identify who you were, it analyzed why you were transacting. Every wallet, every token swap, every transfer was scanned through AI-based monitoring systems. And the penalty for non-compliant behavior: instant freezing of assets. While the crypto community debated decentralization, governments were building the perfect replacement: a global CBDC network connecting every central bank on Earth. The digital dollar, the digital euro, and China's ECNY were integrated through the M-Bridge project, a platform jointly developed by the BIS Innovation Hub and several Asian central banks. By mid-2026, over 60 countries were already using this network for international settlements. Transactions that once required SWIFT now moved directly through the M-Bridge blockchain, bypassing traditional crypto entirely. It was efficient, fast, traceable, exactly what governments wanted. And as CBDCs gained adoption, global corporations began switching to them for payroll, taxes, and trade. Major platforms like PayPal, Amazon, and Alibaba integrated CBDC payments, leaving traditional cryptocurrencies on the fringes. Bitcoin wasn't banned, it was simply outcompeted. Narrator. By 2027, the global crypto market had shrunk by over 60% from its 2021 highs. Bitcoin, once worth $68,000, now fluctuated around $12,000. Ethereum had split into two forks, one regulated, one banned, and thousands of small DeFi tokens had simply vanished. Governments called it the cleanup, but for millions of investors, it was the end of freedom. The world entered a new kind of war, one without soldiers or borders. Hackers turned into freedom fighters. Developers became the new revolutionaries. Groups like Anonymous, Crypto Resistance Network, and Open Chain Alliance began fighting back, creating hidden protocols that could bypass government filters. New coins emerged, powered by quantum-resistant encryption and AI-driven privacy layers. In response, the UN Cybersecurity Division classified decentralized privacy tools as potential threats to national security. Even using one could result in digital blacklisting, meaning your access to CBDCs, government services, or travel could be instantly revoked. This wasn't science fiction anymore. This was 2027. Narrator, tense tone. The original dream of crypto, freedom, decentralization, anonymity, was now labeled illegal innovation. But the question remains, can a system built on math and code truly be destroyed by law and regulation? Or will the next digital rebellion rise again, hidden deep within the algorithms governments can't control? By 2027, control had moved from banks to algorithms. Every transaction, every wallet, every login, analyzed in milliseconds by government AI. The crypto war was no longer about money. It was about data and obedience. The foundation of this new order was an AI network called Aegis Ledger, a system originally designed for cybersecurity. By 2026, it was repurposed to scan the global blockchain in real time. Working alongside firms like Chainalysis and TRM Labs, Aegis could map entire transaction webs within seconds. If a wallet interacted with a suspicious address, the owner's digital ID was instantly flagged. At first, people shrugged it off. It's for catching criminals. But soon, simple peer-to-peer trades between friends triggered alerts. Cross-border donations to journalists or activists were auto-blocked. Governments had achieved what banks never could. A 24-hour financial panopticon. Even VPNs couldn't hide you. By 2026, over 70 countries required internet providers to integrate deep packet inspection software. Every encrypted packet carried a digital watermark linking it to your ID. Privacy had become a memory. When control of transactions wasn't enough, they went for the miners, the backbone of decentralized networks. In 2025, the G20 announced the Sustainable Blockchain Accord, limiting energy-intensive mining for climate reasons. Within a year, over 80% of Bitcoin's hash rate was forced to relocate. Power-hungry mining farms in Kazakhstan, Texas, and Siberia faced coordinated inspections and tax raids. Only state-licensed facilities, tied to national grids and monitored through smart meters, were allowed to continue. Each mined coin carried a traceable signature linking it to an approved miner. Unregistered blocks were rejected by most exchanges. Decentralization, once Bitcoin's greatest strength, was now its vulnerability. Governments didn't need to hack the code. They just controlled the electricity. Meanwhile, A quiet alliance was forming between global regulators. The Financial Action Task Force, FATF, launched its global compliance ledger, connecting the KYC data of every licensed exchange on Earth. By 2027, over 160 jurisdictions shared user information automatically. If one nation blacklisted your wallet, every other exchange saw it instantly. Banks called it safety. Critics called it the financial Iron Curtain. People began noticing that cross-chain bridges were failing, mixers disappearing, and privacy wallets refusing to sync. The decentralized web was fracturing, each region sealed inside its own geo-fenced blockchain. The final blow came with the rollout of global digital IDs. What began as a public health passport in 2021 evolved into a universal authentication layer. By 2026, nations from Europe to Asia had merged their ID systems with payment networks. To buy groceries, pay rent, or board a train, you logged in with a biometric CBDC wallet, and every wallet required compliance with the Unified Digital Identity Standard, UDIS, meaning every transaction was tied directly to your name, face, and location. Governments called it the end of fraud, but for citizens, it was the end of anonymity. If you donated to the wrong cause, your social score dropped. If you used privacy tools, your tax rate increased. And if you persisted, your digital ID could simply be suspended, leaving you locked out of the economy. But while the system tightened its grip, somewhere else, resistance was forming. In late 2026, fragments of the old crypto world began reconnecting. Disillusioned developers, miners, and cyber activists created a hidden network called the Mirror Protocol. Built on mesh networks and quantum-resistant encryption, Mirror operated entirely offline, nodes linked through local radio and satellite bursts instead of the public internet. Transactions were bundled, then uploaded through anonymous relays into public blockchains disguised as random data. To governments, it looked like noise. In reality, it was the birth of a new dark chain economy. Mirror wasn't about profit, it was about survival of privacy. Users traded digital art, encrypted messages, even micro-loans, free from surveillance grids. The movement spread quietly from Seoul to São Paulo. By 2027, intelligence agencies estimated that over $40 million in value moved daily through mirror-based sidechains, untraceable, untaxed, and unstoppable. Of course, governments didn't sit still. In April 2027, the UN Cyber Defense Coalition launched Operation Firebreak, targeting satellite relays suspected of hosting mirror nodes. Simultaneously, AI agents were deployed to flood dark chain networks with fake data, choking their bandwidth. But decentralization has one rule. Every shutdown creates a new branch. Developers shifted to peer-to-peer quantum messaging, turning entire smart cities into hidden block clusters. The more governments tried to suppress it, the more adaptive it became, like a living organism learning to survive under pressure. As the crypto war dragged into its third year, people began questioning what freedom really meant. Was it anonymity, or simply the right to choose how to live within the system? Ordinary citizens, exhausted by inflation and surveillance, started demanding balance, not chaos, not control, but choice. Some nations listened. Switzerland, Singapore, and Estonia proposed hybrid systems combining CBDC stability with limited decentralized zones, digital free ports, where blockchain innovation could continue legally. It was a fragile truce, a recognition that total control kills innovation and total freedom invites chaos. But at least it was a start. In the end, the crypto war of 2027 was never truly about money. It was about who owns trust in a digital age. Governments built systems to make people predictable. Developers built systems to make people free. Both succeeded, and both failed. Because no matter how powerful the algorithms become, no code can erase one human instinct, the desire to own what is ours. By the close of 2027, global CBDCs processed over 90% of retail payments. Bitcoin still existed, small but alive, mined by scattered nodes powered by solar rigs and satellites. Ethereum's regulated fork ran government contracts, Its rogue fork powered Mirror's shadow economy. And somewhere, in an unlisted data center under the Gobi Desert, a new open-source project compiled quietly. Its title read only, Genesis 2.0, for those who still believe. The war for decentralization didn't end in 2027. It simply went deeper, underground, under firewalls, under control, waiting for its next evolution. Money began as metal. Then it became paper, then data, and now it's becoming power itself. The question is, who holds the switch? If this story opened your eyes, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and tell me in the comments where you're watching from. Because no matter your country, this digital war is already at your doorstep.